So lawnmower business is picking up, and it's finally time to get back to work on the Explorer. Oh me, we have a problem. It's stuck in 4th gear. It won't come out. I got it into 5th once and can't get out of that either. Again though. That's neutral, just barely. That's 4th. I don't know what's wrong. So it'd be rubber bushing, no, plastic bushings in there. I think that must be what it is. So I think it sounds like there might be a way to get to there might be rubber down here, and I can pull all that off and get to the top of the transmission. Lord willing, that's the case. Let's see what we can do. So I got the shift lever pulled off. A couple of things about it. The knob was not actually screwed on. I turned it to get it off, which I shouldn't have. As you see, it was webbed. I would have just knocked it off with a hammer. It should still be okay though. Here's our shifter. I might, when I put it back together, I might not put the boot back on. It looks kind of cool with just that. And the shifter was attached with a kind of an interesting system. Oh, so here's the rubber underneath the boot. The transmission, you can see it down there. Anyway, this goes on like, let's see. Why is it tipped like this? Am I doing it? Oh. Anyway, so it goes on like this. Yeah, look how sloppy. I heard there's plastic bushings in here. That's probably the problem. Look how sloppy that is. Probably just needs new bushings. Anyway, so look, so this sits on there like this. And this bolt with a wedge on it goes in there and locks it on because there's a flat there. The bolt with the wedge was in there. The nut was on the other end. Pulling it tight, but you can move the nut to this end to pull it back out. And then the shifter comes off. So there we go. And I suspect this is a problem. See how sloppy that is. Got a cracked little thing here. And there's the pivot on the transmission. Yeah, that is pretty bad. This might be why it's not sitting. We have got a plate down here though, so I'm not sure how much we can do without pulling the transmission out. No, it's a bolted on plate, actually. I'm gonna get off this carpeting. And possibly that plate will provide enough access. I'm not really sure. Let's see. I got the cover off. The one right there. I think that must be the transfer case lever hole. I'm not sure. After all, I was thinking I would be able to get to it, but I just got all this here. The plate reaches more into there. We really should have put it more here, because we can't really pull the plate off unless I can just access through this little spot. Else I'm going to have to drop the transmission. Problem with that is I don't think I can do that. Not by myself, anyway. So this could be pretty problematic, but I'll see what I can figure out. So I got that piece off, and I really can't tell. There's no way to get this cover off without removing the transmission, so I'm just going to, I guess, pull it out in a little while and replace it. Get another good used one and put it in. It's no big deal, but I'm a little disappointed. I stuck this in here and then screwed down that on top of it and just started hitting it with a hammer, and I got it broke loose. The oil's really low in the transmission. I'm going to change it and see, Lord willing, then it won't never break up again. I'll just add the oil to the top. It's easier than using the fill plug. Have to get some oil soon, and Lord willing, this will fix it. I got some oil ordered, and we won't be able to listen to it tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and put on my custom exhaust. You know, the cheaper they are, the better they sound, so this one ought to sound pretty good, because I think it was so cheap. Yeah. I can't tell if it's good buffalo or not. No flex pipe, I'm not using any of that. I don't want it rusting like those are supposed to do. Okay, let's start by getting my empty catalytic converter / adapter thingy. That might actually muffle it a little, which would probably be good, considering that it's area for the gases to expand or whatever. Let's go and get it clamped onto here. There's a 2 1/4, so it'll fit right inside it. Here we go, got these clamped together with this old clamp. It originally went right there, actually. It has that hook for hanging it on the hanger that's over there. So I got this glass back from my cousin. It's 2 1/4 diameter, but that turned out to be good because it fits inside there perfectly. I cut a slot here. Good thing I did. See how much it's closed. And it's clamped on there real secure, so we got a straight through exhaust. With a echo box there that'll actually quiet it down a little bit, and the glass back to quiet it down some more, and it all sound pretty good. So I need to figure out how this all is going to go together, I guess. For some reason that hanger didn't line up up there, but it's no big deal. This, I believe the gasket's still good, so it shouldn't leak. So let's see what we can do. Got it in place. It's so tucked up in there, somebody randomly looking at under there, don't even notice it. Let's see. I use my camera as a handy viewer. Let's see. There we go. Now we put this in right here. And we got an extension here. That's not even the noise it makes. Anyway, let's see. So after this, we'll have it like this. So supposed to do it like this and not use that. Like that. Maybe. I don't know, let's see. See if I can put this on underneath. I'm not sure, I might just reduce my ground clearance way too much. Wait a minute. Yeah, that would certainly. Some cutting is definitely in order. Or I could just have it be like a Honda Civic or something when it's sticking up, except that this is the side. So, anyway. Let me see, I thought about just not having this one, and just having the one behind it just dumping out down there, but I could have rather have it come out a little further. What I really should have bought was a 45-degree angle, so I could have it come down like that, and have it come out, yeah. I should have had a 45-degree angle and not 90. That's it, I guess I'll have it come out like this and then just cut this one at an angle like that, and that'll be the end of it. Alright, that ought to work. Guess I might just screw it on. I don't even know if there's any point in wasting a clamp on this. Of course I have the clamp, so I may as well use it. I also need to figure out some way to probably hang the exhaust pipe right here, I guess, or something. Alright. Well, that looks pretty sport. I just need to bolt everything together now. We won't know how it sounds for a couple days, but I've got the exhaust system installed. So, it's a little loose at the connection between the fake catalytic converter and the glass pack, where I use that whole clamp. I think it's tight enough. Time will tell if it holds up for sure. At the back, we needed to make sure that we had an exhaust hanger, so I used the proper kind. This is the orthodox traditional exhaust hanger. I also noticed a coat hanger. Hangs good, and it'll blow out right there. That is stupid muscle car noises. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. I'm very, very sorry. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to go ahead and see what the Explorer sounds like. And it sounds pretty good. It's not real loud, but it sounds good. I didn't want it being real loud and obnoxious anyway, so it's perfect. Sounds sporty. All the exhaust is blowing out the pipe. Isn't this a sporty exhaust pipe? And all the AOC's be coming out of it, feel it. Oh my, I'm turning into an alien. You make the video, I want to make some shit on
I'll bet Jack pillow down.
Harry's got some parts. And here is his good pal Carlos. Carlos is a Chevy Express. Doesn't he look great? Anyway, let's see. This is our first shipment. Car down. We build it better. We manufactured unloaded power brake booster. How is it unloaded? What is this? Oh, this is gaskets from when I replaced the fuel injectors. And this is a repair kit for my shifter. Let's look at our brake booster. Why is the box so big? Here's our warranty void if check valve is removed. Good to know. I wasn't planning on removing it. What? Failure to replace the leaking master cylinder will void warranty. That's a good idea, I think. About that policy. But my master cylinder isn't leaking. Here it is. Cool. What is this plastic for? We got more warnings in here. Check. I'm not got 1.5 hours. I don't know if it's gonna take that long for me. And what is this? Warranty void if unit is contaminated by gasoline fumes. I haven't got rich mixture. So how am I gonna do this? I was in the middle of trying to figure out why my radio is having all these issues. And then now all this stuff shows up for Harry. Harry is the name of the explorer. Well, I'm just gonna get distracted and start working on Harry. There's our transmission. I'm just gonna add the oil through the hole in the top. It'd be easier than doing it through the side. When I give it a change. Pop the hood. There we go. My hood is open. Yeah, let's get started now, I reckon. Get started with replacing our brake booster. Fuel filter just showed up. I need the injectors and the fuel pump to show up. Fuel pump and sanding unit assembly, and then we'll put them on. I decided to go. I'm running out of time. I'm grateful I got all this stuff. I need to put on. I am gonna go and fill up the transmission with oil and install the shifter kit before I put on the brake booster. Do that, then the brake booster, and then what was the other? Oh yeah. Don't guess then I'll be able to do anything more on him until tomorrow. Apart from drive a little. I don't know how much gas I got left in there. Probably not much. Well, I don't know. Let's see. So, shifter rebuild kit came with a little book. Read instructions thoroughly. Now, what are all these old black and white pictures for? Let's see. Not like I need to know what's around doing it. Follow the service manual and access the shifter. I've already gone to it. I've already taken everything off. Then empty all except those pins. Blah 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 blah. Wow, this dust seal me. Okay, let's get started. First I need to put in all the fresh oil. I'm not going to bother with replacing those pins, so we'll just flush it out. Got some fresh Mocon LV automatic transmission fluid. Doesn't make any sense putting automatic transmission fluid in a manual, but it's what you're supposed to do apparently. Pour a little oil in through the top and it's dripping out the drain. You're supposed to add through the fill hole. That'd be really hard. It'd be much easier filling from inside, and then I'll just fill it till it starts dripping out the hole. And then put together the shifter rebuild kit and put the shifter back on. Long run, the transmission will be fixed and get a while out of it. Long run, I'll get a couple more 100,000 miles. So I expect I probably will. These are great engine, great trucks, great engine, great transmission. Only seem to have got like 1.5 quarts out of that transmission. It was really low. I looked for There's oil seepage on it though, and I don't really see any. Unless the front seal is shot, that area in the engine's pretty wet. Well, that's not the case. That would not be easy to change. I don't see how I get this thing pulled apart. Had to pull the engine out, probably. Because it's not easy to get the stuff under here. That's a fact. Yeah. It's pretty... I felt some, then went and felt. Stuck my finger in and felt, and it was almost full. And then I put in a little more, and then went back and it was running out the hole, so... Hopefully it's not really overfilled. I put the cap plug in. The fans are filling it from the top as well as making it easier to access it. That wee bit of that oil I put in ran over the shifting flukes and stuff like that. It's at the top. That's it up, it's shift good. Okay, let's put the cap on the jug. I need to get me one of them pumps used to fill it. Because I think the transmission must leak a little. More well than it and all leaking fluid on the bottom of the engine, but I really found it. Well, I just see that's one line. This is a 30-year-old truck though. 33 years old. It's about 33. It's a good little truck. Okay, let me hang up. Since I can't get those pins out, really, it was kind of tricky to get at that and get that into there, but I was able to bend it into there without hurting it. Okay, where's our shifting ball? Yeah, this pin's not really worn anyway. Let's see. I can go in there like this. So I slop it in, it's just to grease it a little. I gotta go find some. Maybe just put some oil on it. In the upper bushing in this spring, it says to take this spring out if the shifter feels too tight. And then we have a new plate to put on. Alright, so that boot was already coming off, so I just took it off and put that back down to help hold down the carpet. Can't really tell it was cut, I don't really care. And here we have our shifter. It shifts pretty well. Big improvement for sure. I cranked that. Alright, that's sporty, ain't it? I need to get my console put back in. Alright, so I finished the interior reassembly. Now I'll move on to replacing the brake booster, and after that, we'll do a little test driving. And then, Lord willing, tomorrow, the rest of my fuel system components will be here, so I can fix up the engine and get it running good. And then if he runs real great, it'll be probably pretty much. I might have to replace a couple more things, and then it'll be flatbed time. Okay, so let's see. Brake booster. Brake booster, where is that brake booster? There we go. Actually, well, that's too long. Wait, there we go. So we remove the nuts attaching the master cylinder to the booster. Okay, we'll start with that. Pull everything apart though. I got the new brake booster mounted. There's 4 bolts of wheel tricking. I had a lot of trouble with the push rod and getting it connected. But, well, and now we can... Oh, well, here's instructions, so now it goes. I love paper attention, I will. I'll be alright. I gotta go hook up the hoses and stuff. It says you have to adjust the push rod, but I'm gonna try to avoid that if I can. I'm gonna try just bolting it again and see if it works. The master cylinder bolted onto there. Now it's time for a test drive. Of course, I need to do all the engine work, but I don't have those parts yet, so I want to make sure that what I have done is working good. See, we still got some coolant in there. This all oil is good. Yeah, it looks good. There. Hey, that's something good. That'll be alright. Well, my brake booster will boost the brakes as it should. Our transmission will shift as it should. Of course, I can't make video while I drive, so I'll tell you the result. Harry just been for a ride. Even without new fuel injectors, he rides pretty smooth. So I guess the new fuel injectors, he should run even better. Sounds very powerful, and he only has 155 horsepower. The good old Kellogg, the V6. I like it. made up. There's the fuel injectors in a container. He seems to shift pretty well. I was going up the driveway and my shift knob flew off, so I had to glue it back on. But anyway, he shifts pretty smoothly. The voice sounds a little bad, but a little grindy, I noticed, but well, that don't mean anything real bad. Let's see down there. We don't really see any seepage from the transmission, it don't look like. Well, it's alright. There's a lot of oil seepage here, so we probably ought to keep an eye check on the oil in there. Well, seems good overall. Thankfully I remembered this. Praise God, I remembered before I took him for a drive. But the clutch had fallen off. The pedal had fallen off the push rod up there. I put a cardo pin on it. I guess it doesn't have any bushing in it, so it's pretty sloppy. Like the bushing's just long gone. And I expect it should have had a new, it should have had something holding it on, of course, but it's gone now. I just had the cardo pin that I put on it. Fuel injectors. I think that I probably should not be opening them up in an unsanitary place like this. Hardly even need to fuel injectors, as best I can tell, but I think you probably would benefit. Fuel injector, return all unit in this box. Yes, I will. So look at one. They got it packaged up real nicely to keep it dry. Safe. Here we have our fuel injector. The new fuel injectors will probably run real good. And the new fuel pump. We'll run all that stuff we'll give you tomorrow. Glad I was able to get a lot of the stuff done today. That's a blessing. And we got fuel injectors, fuel filter, and gaskets here already. So I got some silicone lubricant. I need to lube that window with it. See if I can get it to work better. Anyway, very pleased. I'm grateful Lord's letting this go so well. The transmission seems to be shifting nicely. I love this little truck. I'm getting the intake manifold removed. There's 6 bolts, nuts, that is. So you gotta take out one there, two there, and one back there. That one back there is tricky to get out, but with the right socket set up, you can get it out. And I had to disconnect the connector there, all those hoses. And of course this hose, a hose down there, that little one, you can probably see it. And I had to disconnect, unbolt that, and there's some loom holding some of the spark plug wires to the back. You had to pull those off and unbolt the ignition coil from the intake manifold. One I can get it off without having to take off the bolt down there. I cannot get that one loose. It's gonna be tricky pulling it off. I'm sorry my camera gives such a fuzzy video. We're gonna have a shot at pulling off that intake manifold now. So you can see much of nothing. It's loose, but that's what these things got. Actually coming off. Let's see. Got a little clip here holding a wire. I didn't notice before. Yeah, it's mostly the coil pack blocking me from pulling it off. That position it's in is they can't get the bolt out that holds it. Is it gonna be easy? There's no way it's gonna come out. So there's no way it's gonna come out unless I take the coil pack off, or at least bend the bracket. I can't tell if it's a metal or plastic bracket. I don't know. It's got that bolt down there, but it holds it to the exhaust manifold, so it's not gonna be easy to get out. Before I forget, so I depressurized the fuel system by, there's a switch down there. You disconnect the plug from it, and then crank the engine. I got the coil pack bracket bent. Maybe it'll work now. Still not wanting to come off. So many obstacles. finally managed to get the intake manifold off. There's some carbon in here. Well, it's good, I'm grateful. Gasket so broke cleanly. Looks like it'll come off easily, so I won't bother to reuse it if it'll come off so easy. Yeah, very easy. I mean, we could reuse this gasket, but I have the new ones. Scraping is unnecessary, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh man, that was a tough job. Air conditioning line's really in the way. Alright. Take the old gasket. We got fresh ones. Now, let's see. Don't want that debris going into there. This had a little cap, rubber cap on it. I dropped it down here somewhere. I don't know if it'll turn up now or not. Now how this fuel rail is attached exactly. Let's see, well, there's the injectors. You can see the connectors there. Let's go and look. So there's the fuel pressure regulator. I'm not replacing it because as far as I know it's still good. Let's go look at our instruction book. Here. Note the cap over the front stud. I hope it's no big deal that I just lost that. Yeah, fuel rail and injectors. Good, doesn't look like I have to take off the intake manifold, just take out those bolts. Move the intake manifold, move the bolts, and walk everything out. Okay. When do I disconnect the connectors? Instead, I pull it out. These are Torx bolts holding on the fuel rail. But I'm using a 7/32 socket to remove them. And it seems to be working. We're willing. Maybe not. It slipped. Let's see. So I'm using vice grips to take out each Torx bolt here. Because well, I use vice grips to get them started, and then I use the socket to take them out the rest of the way so they don't strip them. Here is the PCV valve. I know you're supposed to check to see if it shakes. I mean, to see if it rattles, not to see if it shakes. Rattles pretty good, don't it? Okay, so I disconnected I pulled all the injectors out and disconnected the wires. Unfortunately, I broke the clips on one of the connectors that help make sure it don't come off. Hopefully that connector won't fall off and then I have a dead cylinder. I don't think it's likely to happen. Hopefully it won't. And then I sprayed everything off the best I could with compressed air. Tried to make everything as clean as I could. It's still not the best. I mean, a little teeny bit of dirt getting into the engine is not a big deal, but dirt getting into the fuel injectors is. Everything looks decent. Well, then I'll be alright. Okay, so let's read the instructions again. Go away, wasp. Don't go in there. Stupid waspo. Let's see, so we need to lubricate the injector O-rings and put them in the fuel rail and then install it. Okay. I don't guess I'll really make any video because it's kind of difficult. And this is a precise job. I pulled out all the old injectors and then get a quick shot of air and each hole to make sure that they were all clean. Here's the old injectors. They are really dirty. Probably 450,000 mile injectors. So I'll put these injectors in. Of course, I won't run it again until I get the new fuel filter and pump installed. I have the new fuel filter, so as soon as I get the injectors done, I'll put in the fuel filter, pump, Lord willing, and sending unit. Lord willing, they'll show up today. This is exciting. There's a reason the handle injectors with extreme care. My camera is so fuzzy, it won't even hardly show that little tiny needle nozzle on there. It certainly is a remarkable little thing, ain't it? Here it is. Looks the same. Good. I mean, not quite the same, but almost. I'll go and get them all put in. Da-da-da! Beautiful new fuel injectors. I'm gonna, thankfully the old gaskets came off easily, so I'll be able to put on the new ones. I'm not gonna make any more video until I get them in, I guess, because they're very, very fragile, easy to clog little things. I realize these rubber noise isolators are supposed to transfer the new injectors, but I've already got everything mostly put together right up to the intake manifold. I am not bothering with putting those pieces of rubber on. Pulling those vibration pieces that I left off. Vibration isolators, lowering those won't cause any. No, they said noise isolators, lowering that won't cause any problems. The fact that I left them out. Everything's put back together though. Supposedly, Lord willing, my fuel pump is out for delivery and the spark plugs too, Lord willing, so maybe they'll show up and I can get them put in shortly. It's about the right time of day for FedEx to show up. Go and put in the fuel filter while I wait. And Lord willing, a little hairy pickup will run great. I mean, nothing. So, it turns out you need a special tool to disconnect these fittings. So, I'm going to have to stop working till tomorrow. Or longer, potentially, but Lord willing, I can find the tool I need tonight at the auto parts store. Lord willing. This is quite disappointing, really, because I thought I'd have that truck running today. Picked up this tool yesterday evening, and it's this morning we have gotten the fuel lines disconnected here. Now I need to replace the fuel filter before I work on this anymore. At least I got the tool now. I got the fittings apart and I broke one of the insides of the fittings by mistake. One of the insides there. Well, my dad's gonna stop and get some new fittings at the auto parts store. But while I wait, I'll replace the spark plugs. Got some new Autolite 765s. I ordered 8 in case I broke a couple of them. And one of the ones I opened up was a different color. It was still the same spark plug, but I found I have at least 6 that are all the matching colors, so I'm going to use them. Now for the immensely difficult job of changing spark plugs.